What's up, everyone? PS4 Neo is real, it exists, it's been confirmed. I'm excited. I think it offers some good opportunities for gamers.
But you're wrong! Well, let's see. It may be a good thing for gamers, but there are some issues we need to think about here. First, the fact that iterative platforms like the iPhone, Windows 10 have showed us that hardware and software upgrades are not always a smooth proposition for consumers. Sometimes operating systems leave hardware behind. Then what happens?
But the more important thing that I want to touch on there is that in terms of hardware versus software, I don't think that like Apple, for instance, has ever at any point said like, yeah, doesn't matter how much new hardware we come out with, we're always going to support the old software. Like, they've never really said that. Whereas Sony, at least this is based on the leaked document, the leaked idea directive that they had, is that the going forward kind of thing is that every single game that comes out is going to have to be workable both on Neo and the standard PS4 so that people don't get left behind.
A very good point. I do worry about the future. What happens with the next iteration? Do they stick with that after that? If they're targeting the newer Neo hardware, what's the user experience going to be like on the old hardware? I'm worried about that. I'm also worried about things like virtual reality integration. Obviously, this is meant to provide a better virtual reality experience. We're pretty sure that that's a part of what's coming with the Neo.
Absolutely.
But once VR has become an established thing, what's the next step? What's the next incentive to move up? I'm worried about that. I also have some concerns about the price point. Previously, in hardware generations, hardware prices have continued to go down throughout the generation, and gradually, many people end up buying their hardware fairly late in the life cycle.
Sure.
But now we're always going to have new, more expensive hardware out there. And yes, I'm going to be able to buy mine, but I'm buying a Volkswagen, Beetle when I want to buy a Porsche. And it's just sitting there, and I know that I'm getting a second-rate gaming experience.
Well, that's the thing, is that you only think it's second-rate because something new exists, and that's kind of the problem with the psychology of it. And this is something that makes me nuts in the realm of like iOS and phones and tablets and all Android devices, is that whenever something new comes out, everyone's like, well, what I had before is obsolete. It's an overused word. Like, we freak out about that word. Like, if you can still do all the things that you did before and all the things that you did were enough for what you wanted, then like your experience isn't obsolete. Just like a Porsche being out there doesn't mean that your Corvette is like garbage. Like, it just means that you don't have a Porsche.
What about the other positive points you've been raising, Vince? What's good about this in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, like, to me, what's really exciting about this idea is that it provides a way to have an upgraded experience without completely negating everything that came before it. Like, we've seen backwards compatibility basically disappear, like, more or less. It was kind of like a pipe dream at the beginning of this generation that, like, Sony was saying it was going to happen, and Microsoft said it absolutely won't. Then Microsoft kind of delivered on that, on it, even though they said it wouldn't happen, and Sony completely hasn't. So it's backwards compatibility is always a problem because your old library kind of just goes away. Here we have a way where hardware manufacturers can get what they want, which is they make a new piece of hardware that allows them to make more money and allows them to deliver better experiences. But at the same time, people who want to stick with what they have, if you get the new hardware, you're not going to lose the games that you had. You'll still be able to play everything. And if you stick behind with the old hardware, every game that comes out subsequently is still going to be made with your spec in mind as well. So to me, at that point, this turns the console gaming space a little bit more into the PC gaming space, where, like, yes, maybe the person with a brand new 1080 GTX 1080 is going to have a better experience than me on my 770. But you know what? The game still cooks on my 770, and I'm having a good time. So I think that that's a totally fine model to introduce into the console space. You just have to do it the right way. Now, your worries are valid, though. Whether or not they do it the right way, we'll have to see.
Yeah, that's the question. A lot of things you're saying there I actually agree with. I'm a PC gamer, and I've been part of that experience. I go to my consoles to get away from that, and that's one of the things that's very difficult about this for me. Also, the fact that, just like you said earlier, sometimes we get information at the beginning of an announcement about things like backward compatibility, and then later on they're like, oh yeah, but we found it's more profitable to do this. And I do believe that there's a lot of financial incentive for creating, if you look at what's happening in other entertainment technology, including what goes on with their competitor Microsoft in the operating system space, Sony's looking and saying, oh, here's a way we can make a lot more money by introducing these in an iterative way that gradually allows us to sell you new hardware, software packages every couple of years. And I think that's where this is headed.
Sure, I mean, I think it all comes down to the execution, which is, of course, something we're not going to know until Sony releases more details. They haven't so far. They've said they're not going to talk about it at E3. Just they wanted to confirm the existence of the PS4 Neo and kind of get that monkey off their back, I guess, before going into the show. But, like, obviously, strong points on either side. What do you guys think? Is the PS4 Neo a good thing for gamers? Is it a negative thing? Is it good now and maybe turns into an evil situation later? Is the sky falling? Are cats and dogs going to be living together? Is it going to be mass hysteria? Let us know in the comments below. And for more on PS4 Neo, Xbox Scorpio, any other crazy code-named hardware updates, and all things video games, keep it right here on IGN.